I tried out Casual Warzone, and I think it's a great addition to the game. I had low expectations for me personally, because for someone who is more of a sweat, it sounded pretty so-so. It sounds too easy to win, and I did in fact win the one and only round I've played of this mode, but I enjoyed it more than I expected. And no, don't worry, I won't be sticking to casual all the time now and ruining the experience for more chill folks, but I did want to experience the new content they dropped for Dansk, and this is new. Players and content creators alike have been complaining and even leaving the game for many seasons, if not years at this point, because the game just felt too sweaty to them. You don't want every round of Warzone to feel like a tournament, and you don't want regular Warzone to feel more like ranked Warzone. So in comes Casual, which is essentially like having a difficulty setting within a game with skill-based matchmaking. I'm still not sure it is the solution to that problem for everyone. They need to change the way skill-based matchmaking works, but I could see it being the immediate solution for many players. It is very easy to complete contracts. You could easily hop in a vehicle and do a bunch of recon contracts, get a peek at the end zone, and position yourself when that draws near. Easy clutch. I barely ran into the 28 other players, and the bots are super easy to kill, and that's for a player at just about any level, not necessarily a good player even. And they're also easy to escape, so if you're in a pinch for time, then they're still really easy to deal with. It's an excellent mode if you hop on the game once a week or a month, you want to have a more laid-back round, maybe you want to chat more while killing bots and less sweaty players, have lower stakes, or maybe you're showing a new player the ropes. This would be perfect for training a new player. It's also a nice alternative to Plunder for camo grinding and testing out weapons. I may use it as a testing ground, or to illustrate points of videos, or to experiment in general. But it's also fun if you just want to feel like a god among apes for a round or two. That paired with regular Warzone and ranked is perfect, I think. With regular, my personal favorite, you have one-shot sniping and infinite rage, and that's what I live for. It's still a more slowed down version than the previous Warzone season, and that feels really good. And then if you are one of the players who is unhappy about the one-shot sniping, you can go into ranked where, undoubtedly, they will nerf the sniping, as they have in the past, so everyone can have what they want. Casual seems goofy and fun. You can see I'm pretty silly in this one. I end up running over a lot of bots and just doing some silly stuff. At the end, I get myself killed because I just, I'm acting weird. It's not like a regular round where I'm trying to clutch at the end. The action did feel more evenly distributed to me, too. You'll see that I bump into enemies more consistently than I do oftentimes in the regular mode. I pulled off this win we're watching despite really just dropping in to goof around, so it was super easy for me. It's not going to be my new main mode that I play, but I liked it more than I expected to. I personally don't like it as much as regular Warzone because I don't find fighting bots to be exciting. Needless to say, the bots are very easy for me to kill. I think I ran over most of them with my car. I'm not quite sure. I didn't pay too much attention to who was a bot and who wasn't. I think up until the end I mostly was killing bots, possibly. But it's, that's the same reason why eventually games like Dying Light or Green Hell become less interesting to me. Playing against the computer is just not as interesting as playing against another human being. So I prefer the mode with more humans. That feels more rewarding to win. But that's me personally, and it's probably at least partially because of my competitive nature. I totally understand feeling like there's just too many sweats, and there's a number of other issues with the current skill-based matchmaking. So I can see this being very viable for a lot of people. If you're a player who is unhappy with the pacing of the game, you feel like there's too many sweats, maybe you don't have time to grind for the new meta, for a loadout every time one drops, then this might be the mode for you, and I do hope they leave it in the game. because I do think it adds something to the game. I found that this round was super easy for me. Granted, I'm someone who plays more than, a casual who hops on once a week or a month, and as a result, I'm going to be better, right? But I found it to be super easy. I didn't find anyone who felt like a challenge to me. That being said, you still might bump into some sweats, of course. You can't stop them from hopping into this mode. Even a decent player might feel like a sweat or a demon in this mode just because compared to 120 bots, they're a lot better. Also, there's... God, I don't even know how much content I've seen about how to get easy lobbies. Do this and you get an easy lobby. Don't close the game out in between Warzone matches when you lose, and it'll automatically put you into a bot lobby, etc., etc. People use VPNs. People use reverse boosting. A lot of streamers do those things so that they go into like a quote-unquote bot lobby, not a literal one like Warzone Casual here, but they end up in a lobby where people have really low KDs, people don't score a lot in their matches, maybe they haven't even won a Warzone match before, or they've only won like one or a handful. So this isn't going to stop all of that necessarily, but I do still think it's going to be significantly easier. Also, you're probably going to have some people who, like I said, it's a good place to train someone. I would hop in here if I was playing with a friend who was new to the game, or even if I was playing with one of my friends who quit a few years back, and now it's like, okay, we have to kind of, warm up, show you the ropes again. Things have changed. A whole bunch of things have changed. There's new mechanics to the game. I think the last time one of my best friends played, they didn't even have the whole meat shielding mechanic, and that can be a little bit funky. I find it's very easy to use now that I've adjusted my settings and I've done it a bunch. Oh, I don't do it right here. I thought I did it right here. I do it in this match somewhere, once or twice. And now it's easy, but the first couple times I did it, first I had to change a setting, and then I had to kind of get used to the setting, and then I kind of slowly learned how the mechanic worked too. I didn't realize, for example, initially that if you meat shield someone, and you either get killed, or you release them, they're still just alive. They're not down. Even if you, meat shield them after you beat them up, they're not going to be down. They're just going to be standing there. They can shoot you. They're not dead. They don't even need to be rezzed. So things like that. There's a part where we push a bunch of people super hard. We were getting kind of aggro. I honestly would like to just get super aggro on this mode. It's so hard to find people. And I don't think that the UAVs distinguish between bots and real players. So, yeah, I would, if I were to play another one, I think I would be even more aggro. And probably do, I don't know, I think I did 3-4 contracts maybe. And we had a decent chunk of cash at the end, but I'd probably do more and just pop more UAs faster. If you really want to mess with people too, I would use a default skin or like a bot skin, not something like I'm Black Noir, so that's pretty obvious, and then catch them off guard. I've also been seeing players say that if they got rid of this mode, they would leave. They're like, I don't have time to play this game a lot. I am tired of all the demons. And that's fair. I mean, all the flaws that the game has, it still feels like one of the better, if not the best, first-person shooters. If it was Warzone 2020, I would say it feels like the best. hands down easy. That's why I played it. I thought the gameplay for a first-person shooter is the best in Warzone. I had played some Fortnite. That one's cartoony. I guess now they have first-person as a mode as well. So if I was going to play it, I would play that way. I didn't like the third-person view in it. And it just didn't feel right. Like, I don't know, the gameplay didn't feel smooth, the way the guns worked, it just didn't do it for me. Okay, this is where it starts to heat up a bit. Now we're rapidly heading towards final circle. The gulag has just closed and we're in a somewhat open military end. There's some bunkers in there, but there's a lot of open space. And at this point, the humans are kind of, pushed together. So now you're feeling some pressure. Not like a regular Warzone mode, where the ending would be super hot, and I'd be playing it a lot smarter. I'd be playing it a lot safer if I was trying to win. I definitely wouldn't be riding around in a car like this, being kind of silly goofy. This is where I go down. This is so this is so bad. That was not the move. I should not have challenged that. There was a squad sniping that spot. I normally wouldn't. It was just a terrible terrible idea, I knew they were hard scoping the spot where I was standing already. And I know better than to do that. In most regular matches, unless I was just like spacing out, I would never do that. But in this one, I think I thought, it's casual. I'm just gonna ego it, a little ego chow. Just go off. But no. So this is where I kind of go, you know what, we've almost won. I'm gonna go for some snipes. I'm gonna chill out a little bit. I think we could clutch it easily. We can. I do. These are just randos, by the way. I have no idea who my teammates are. They were pretty good. Like, in a world of casuals, they seem to be sweats. In a regular match, I don't know, but they were actually making moves and trying to at least kill the bots. Also, one thing that I felt like kind of showed you how easy it was, they were able to buy me back with that buy in the middle of military base in nearly end circle. Yeah, I don't know, man. Normally, that's rough. But my teammate just pulled it off, no problem. Boom, boom, there and back. Speaking of being back, I am going to make a video on winning more vlogs, so be sure to subscribe, like, all that stuff. So at this point, these poor people are just in the shack kind of panicking. They're peeking when they shouldn't be. Like, why are you peeking that right there, But that's kind of... There you go. One of them goes down. I snipe them. I could just randomly shoot them through the walls, but honestly, they probably could have survived that if they were just a little more cautious. So this is where you're kind of seeing how it's definitely a less competitive, a less difficult mode. The players, no shade to the players, they're just playing and having a good time, and that's cool. But I mean, you can see that this is a lot less challenging than the regular mode, and certainly than ranked. And at this point, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this. They're for sure not expecting this push, and if they were to, my teammates would back me up here, and there you go.